Hey guys, Flabaliki here today and welcome back to Planet Coaster. Everyone's always asking where Planet Coaster is, which is, it's always interesting to see that in every single comment ever, and great. But the reason these take so long is because I spent a lot more time actually building things. And actually, this is something that I realized whilst I was working on this is that, because in case you don't know, I have a whole channel on The Sims and I do a lot of house building videos in The Sims. And what I noticed when I was building in this game, I was like, it's more difficult in the sense that when I open up the game, when I open up Planet Coaster and I'm like, hey, I want to build something, but I don't know what it is, it's really hard to build something. Whereas when I open up The Sims and I just go to a lot, I'm like, okay, I want to build something, I don't know what it is, but I'll just start doing stuff and they'll sort of come together. But I think that's mostly because Planet Coaster is so much more open-ended with what you can do. I mean, just look at what we're doing now with the sort of advanced movement tool and just moving things wherever you want, rotating them however you want. I think it's that level of creativity and all of that, which is great, but it means it's a lot harder to do something from nothing. And in terms of if you don't have an idea, it's a lot harder to do something. So anyway, the point of that was that's why it takes a bit longer. Also, we do the time lapses, otherwise we never get anything done. So with this build, you may have guessed by the title. I don't know. It depends. Do I put titles in these? I don't know. Well, you might be able to see from the thumbnail. Anyway, we're doing a tiny town, a tiny fantasy town, because in front of this big sort of castle tower, where we did that drop ride. I don't know what that ride was called. I don't think we named it in the end, but we built that last episode, the big tower and the sort of bridge and the moat. And I was like, you know what? We need like a little village, a little town that sort of just, that this, I guess, castle sort of rules over. So I thought, maybe we can somehow build a mini town, like a miniature town. And that's exactly what we're doing, or at least trying our best to do, because there's only so much we can do within the limitations. I don't know why I was trying to use that as a roof. I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of cool, because if we built the roof out of multiple different pieces like this, we'd be able to sort of experiment a lot more with it being not so uniform and having a little bit more wavy and broken and, I guess, characteristic? Yeah, I guess. No, have more character is probably a better way to describe what I was going for there. Anyway, in the end, I kind of just gave up on that, and I believe I just did like regular roofs. It actually took a while just to figure out how I wanted to do these little houses, which, I mean, you'll certainly see, and that's like, thankfully we sped this up because it did take me a long time to sort of going through items, seeing what there was. I'm like, oh, that's a cool item, might use that later. Did like the gingerbread roof. If you could change color, that'd probably be better. Then I would have used it. Instead, just use this standard roof here, and that actually worked quite fine because we could just change the color however we want and make them nice and colorful. Yeah, so obviously we don't want them just brown and boring. It's supposed to be light, colorful, pastel, fantasy, you know? A little town, which I thought, I don't know, I thought it was a cool idea. And when I was at this point, because considering this is a time lapse, we're fairly far in real time. When I was doing this, I was like, I have no idea if this is going to work. And I hope the rest of the buildings don't take this long, which of course they don't take as long. Once you've done one of them, it doesn't take as long to do the others, because I kind of just copied and pasted one, rotated it, changed the colors, added a few different pieces here and there. And there's some really interesting little ones that I build later on too, which you should stick around to see more of. It's kind of funny when I'm pulling out all these different pieces as well, because I'm building this on a much smaller scale. And it's kind of hard to see right now, the scale, but if you ever see like sort of a person walk nearby, which I don't know that we do, but it is actually pretty damn small, considering this is a 1x1 grid and all the wall pieces are 1x1. There are no, as we discussed last time, there's no like half tile pieces that we could use. So it's pretty small. It's basically as small as we could get it, I guess, without building our own custom walls from like wooden planks and all that. Like if we use those planks to make our own walls, I guess we could make it smaller. But it means that there'd be like no doors or anything that fit, because we're still limited to using the regular sized doors or the regular doors and windows, which thankfully that door actually looks quite small. So I don't know if it's designed to be a small door on purpose or what, but it totally works. So thankfully we can use that and it's no problem. Yeah, just getting some like wooden trimming all over this, just give it a little bit more detail than it just being blank. And I don't know, I liked the sort of light blue color on this one, and using that sort of interesting like trim I don't know why on the side of this house I use that sort of different trim, and then on the front and the back I used this other sort of fence just placed vertically. I don't know why I did it that way, but I did. And then just getting a nice, did I put that one there in the end? A nice big window on the back, because I use a lot of different windows in this little town, so it actually works out quite nice. It's not huge, but the whole idea of this is it's just supposed to set the scene for the area. Also, that huge brick building just to our left there, I was looking at that, I was like, I need to go back and finish that. We need to touch up a lot of this park. But as some of you may know, I'm currently away because I'm going to PAX West in Seattle. So a lot of this I'm recording before I go. And I didn't want to spend my time sort of touching up stuff. Speaking of which, I did spend some time. You guys may remember the sci-fi roller coaster, that's sort of the one that starts indoors and launches down the hallway. We tried to do a pitch black hallway, but it didn't really work because everything was just, it was too shiny. But they've added in, I think it might have been in one of the like little DLCs, like the $2 DLCs. They added in like these sort of star-filled wallpapers. Like it's a pitch black wallpaper that has like little like stars on it, so it looks like space. And I was like, oh my lord, this is perfect for that. So I actually spent some time doing that. That took ages, actually. It was like 20 minutes just putting them in there. It's not even done. It's not polished enough. So I need to just spend a crap ton of time just polishing things and seeing what we can do. But I'll do that when I'm back and have a bit more time to play around with it. For now, I wanted to do some more interesting progress and get some actual like visible work done. Because while that is cool, like sort of detailing the inside of the coaster is like, well, we don't see it. And it's kind of hard to see. Even in a time lapse, it's kind of hard to see. So I think it's better to kind of do that stuff and just show you afterwards rather than trying to record it. Because the thing is, I did record it and then I sped it up and I looked at it. I'm like, this, first of all, the camera spins around so much because it's in such a small space inside. It spins around a lot and it just doesn't really look good. So I was like, you know what, maybe we'll just maybe I just won't use that bit. So I decided here to use a second building to get some little diagonal pieces. And here, again, because there's no half-sized wall piece, we use some of these just wooden pillars or columns or whatever they are, and I just build my own wall to fill in the gap. And it actually works out pretty well. And then I actually use this diagonal piece of building. I clone it a few times and put it on some of the others as well. And it just gives them a much more dynamic feel rather than just all being squares, which is a bit boring. And I didn't want to just do larger rectangles. I thought having this little piece and sort of rotating it a bit gave it a much more interesting look, which was quite nice. Anyway, that was kind of the idea behind it. I think it turned out quite good. Trying to do, what did I do for a roof on this one? Because I remember it being kind of annoying. Oh, I just used this smaller roof piece, I think, and then I think I did, and I just sort of moved it in place and like rotated it. Oh yeah, and then we have the issue because again, this isn't really designed to fit here. Like there's no half wall roof end, like, so there's no triangle bit that's actually designed to fit in there because I'm just doing all this. So then in the end we have to go through and make that ourselves as well, because, well, not make it ourselves. I found a piece that fits quite well, actually, which I was very, very thankful for, because I was like, I mean, it would have been possible, like I was going to use those and we could have if we just sort of overlapped them and all that kind of stuff, and it would have worked, but it probably would have looked way messier than what I ended up doing, which was, there's actually, yeah, see, there's the problem. The actual size, that's when you kind of start to see the roof scale, or not the roof, the building scale is when you get out an actual sized roof piece, and it's huge. Anyway, so these little diagonal piece, I don't know what they are. I think they're a like a porch or a balcony kind of piece, and it actually works quite well. Just rotate them and just sort of put them in place, and boom, look at that, beautiful. It fits in perfectly, actually, and I was really happy with that. And just, did I put that there? That looks like a weird thing to put there. I was going to say, that's kind of weird. I don't know why I did that. And just a little window on the end as well. Yeah, so you can see these first few buildings here actually took the longest because, well, I guess the pink building took like 2 seconds. This green one took a little bit longer because we're adding onto it. But then we can now use this piece as well and duplicate it and put it on the others and make it even more dynamic, which is a lot of fun. Which I don't know what do I do that here? Oh, there we go. Bop, bop. And it sort of like goes in at a completely different angle and looks even more like, and it makes it easier to sort of mix it up and have it look a little bit different than the others. And I just match it up with that building, so you get the blue and the yellow on that building. Yeah, so they've all got these interesting like color schemes. I think that's pink and green by the looks of it, light green. And I decided to do a different pattern on the front of this building just because I didn't want them all to look identical, because that would like, I don't know, it just doesn't look nearly as good if they're all completely identical. So that's why I changed some of the facades and some of the trims and windows and doors and all that kind of stuff as well. Currently not doing anything there. Oh no, I'm changing the pathway type and see what's there. So just putting a pathway through this little village. It's just a really small like little U. Just go straight through like that. Look at that. This little dirt pathway. I didn't think it should be a proper pathway, especially because it's supposed to be, I don't know, almost, I don't know what it's supposed to be, like what kind of town. Oh, how come I like moved that pink building and then I guess, oh, maybe I moved it and then I was like, nah, I'm going to undo that. I put it back where it was. Anyway, so I thought we needed to get another type of building in here, not just all like the wooden ones. So starting to build a little brick building here, which I thought would be a bit of fun. Again, trying to use all these pieces to get a different scale going on here. I don't know why I put a wooden like a flat roof there. I was trying to see if we get like a little turret on this one because I thought that'd be quite cool. And we absolutely do. I mean, you might be able to see it in the screen. I don't know what I've done for the thumbnail screenshot or anything like that, but you might have already seen it. But yeah, I thought this one looked, I really like, I think this is my favorite building once it's all completed and it has all the extra bits on it, which you'll see in a minute. I'm pretty excited for this one. So we did a nice cross roof pattern. I don't know what that's called, but I thought that was quite nice. And we get that little turret in there as well. Look at that. A turret. I don't even know what is it actually called. I don't know. I'm going to call it a turret. I don't think it is. I think it's called something else. And then a couple of windows, like little attic windows, which I thought was great as well. It's like, oh man, this is just coming together. Look at this thing. It's coming together. It's looking good. And then, yeah, so you can see the scale of actual doors and then the scale of our little buildings. Thankfully, a lot of these doors actually do look like they could be small enough, and then you sort of just sink them into the ground a little bit and it looks fine. And then we get some nice windows on the front as well. Just like that. Look at that. Beauty. Obviously, this building's not going here. I'm just building it in this section so we can move it to where we need to. Because we don't need to build them where they are. Thankfully, you can just move stuff in this game, which is so useful. Imagine if you couldn't pick it up and move it. That would suck. Anyway, so this one's just going there right along the little lake. Or I guess it's not a lake. I guess it technically is a lake, but it's more a moat for the castle kind of thing. Now, this is the bit I really like. I put on like a fishing... I guess jetty, or maybe it's just like, I guess a fishing pier or like a jetty for, I guess, a rowboat or something. There's no boats there because the boats are going to be way too big for scale. So just got like a little pier coming out there, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. I was like, this is cool. I was really happy with that. I don't know. It's really simple. Like this whole little build is so simple, but it's like, it's almost in a way kind of like Legoland, you know, these miniature buildings. I wish I could get them smaller, but I mean, I was going to say maybe I could. No, I don't think you could because there's just no wall pieces that are small enough. And even if you do, like I said earlier, like even if you do build it out of like wooden planks yourself, all the wall pieces and make it smaller, then there's no like door or window that you could realistically use. And it probably would look a bit weird. I think, and this is as small as we can go with still using actual building pieces, I guess, without having to custom make every little item out of a million different pieces. Like, it'd probably be possible, but it would take a billion years to do. So that's not something that I was looking forward to doing. That's why I thought this is a really good way to do it. I think it actually works out really well. And I think the good thing about this is because this is like a tiny town, it makes the tower behind it look even bigger, right? It's like, oh, there's this huge castle. Because there's this whole little village here, but it's just like, look at that building. Even up high, floating, it looks cool. Yeah, I thought I'd get another little brick building in. Does that one even stay there? I think, just change it up a little bit, I think is what I do. Get a different color on it. Yeah, nice. That's different. It's unusual. It's looking good. Yeah, no, I thought this was pretty cool. So this is obviously, this area of the park that we've been working on is obviously like the little fantasy area. And that's what we're working towards. Making it look at sweet. I don't know, like, I don't think there's a lot of people that go on the ride behind this that we spent ages building everything for, just like with the moat. I don't know. It's like that sort of drop ride, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't think many people go on it. You can see there's some people sort of walking up there in the background, but even still, not a lot of people. And even with this little town here, building this is like, this doesn't attract any people to walk here. The only ride that attracts every single person in the park is the log flume for some reason. And if you've been watching the series from the earlier episodes, you'll know about that. It's ridiculous how many people go there. Oh, and it used to be, it was one of the stores that was bugged. I can't remember. Maybe it was a few of them. It was like the balloon store or something that attracted every single person in the park as well. That was quite funny. But those are good ways to get people to walk around the park. So, also you may notice that we have $462,000 at the moment and going up. No problems there. I think we're good for cash. No need to worry about that. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so this one as well, I thought we'd get like a little awning and a porch because I was like, oh, that would just add an extra bit of detail. And it actually worked out quite well. There's some little pieces that we could use for the porch, as you can see. And the awnings, a lot of them can actually just be sort of smudged inside the building a little bit to make them look smaller. So that actually worked out quite well. There's also a lot of really nice fences like this one here. I really like that one. It's got that fantasy vibe to it, which I really, really liked. And then I was like, you know what, this is cool. Let's add some more of these around the place. And that was a hideous one that doesn't fit at all. But yeah, a lot of this build is just me sort of dragging out pieces and seeing if they work in the area or not. That doesn't fit in there at all. I don't know if that one ends up having an awning, or I think I just try a whole bunch. Maybe I use that. Just like a little, I think I do use, do I leave that there? I think I do. Yeah, nice. Do I? I don't know. It doesn't look like, I don't remember it. I don't remember it. Anyway, we're getting some ivy over all of these as well. I thought it'd be nice, have like a little bit of greenery around the place, because of course we're not just having buildings with no scenery around it. That'd be ridiculous. And using those trees again to just get some bushes, especially because this is like a tiny town. All the foliage needs to look small as well, because if you have a huge tree, I wish we had like, oh man, if there's like miniature trees as well that looked like, I mean, we could probably, I guess we could make our own trees using like planks and then some of the shrubs as well. That could work. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't done that though, but I guess that could work. Could be a bit of fun. There's also a lot of items that do work, thankfully. Like a lot of the scenery items, they don't look too big and too out of place. Like that's technically a TNT crate, but I thought it looked good as maybe like a little bench or something. I love that fence as well, that little colorful fence. I really love that sort of tree archway, but it's too big and it sort of dominates the area and it sort of blocks out the view of the castle and the town. It just ruins it. So I was like, I can't really use that. That little fence there as well is perfect. Like, I mean, it looks tiny, so it looks like it fits the area really nicely. And I was like, yes, this is good. But there are a lot of things that I would love to use, but the scale of them all just looks way too big. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to fit. Like that little barrel as well. Like it's actually just a tiny barrel. And it's like, oh, that's perfect. It totally fits this area. I'm getting some nice flowers as well. I don't think I've put them out yet. No, I was about to, but I'm just having a look through the items. Yeah, because I got a lot of new items from all those little DLC packs as well, with like the Delorean and... Was it the Delorean? It's like Knight Rider and one other one. There's 3 of them. I can't remember what they were, but it's some cool new items that came in those. So yeah, I was happy about that. Just making a little porch for this one as well, because I thought it was appropriate. A portrait? No, that doesn't make any sense. I was trying to make a pun with a porch, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't work. Anyway, yeah, I thought that TNT crate actually fit quite well, because it doesn't look huge or oversized or anything. It's just an item to sort of put in the area. And we can see that beautiful monorail going in the background. I think the monorail's working again. It wasn't working last episode, even though I thought I turned it on, but I hadn't. But it appears to be going around the track anyway. So whether people are riding it or not, I don't know. And then I got like a little sort of flower bowl thing in the middle of town. I was trying to find some little benches that could go around it, but there's nothing that's like small enough that looks like it, because it's supposed to be like a centerpiece of the town, like a sort of town. I really wanted to put that in, but it's just like it blocks everything. It absolutely blocks everything. Yeah, like I said earlier, I love this little colorful fence. I mean, we could change all the colors, but I thought the default actually suited this area quite well. So I was like, let's get a few of those around the place, not overdo it too much. I like the fruit too, but it wasn't going to fit. Just make that a bit smaller. Get a hitching post, hitch up me horses. I love all those carts, but they you can see that the scale of the carts are just huge, and it doesn't really work. I thought that would be kind of cool there, having like a little fence or something there. But it again just didn't really work. Did I leave that cart there? I feel like I got rid of that one, or maybe I left it there. It doesn't look too out of place, but some of the other ones were absolutely colossal and just looked ridiculous. I was like, we can't do that. But getting the last couple of buildings in here, or maybe this is the last building, I think. Yeah, so this one's actually a bit larger than all the others, which is cool, because that comes in handy next episode. Yeah, I'm already teasing next episode, so get excited for that. Get excited for that. That'll be out next week. That's a pretty fun one too, so you're not gonna want to miss it. But yeah, anyway, so this one's a larger building, just because I thought, well, I mean, even though we had a bit of variety in the other buildings with like the diagonal sections, they're all still kind of the same size. I was like, maybe we just make this one a little bit bigger. Also, just I think it looks quite nice with the porch there as well. I was like, that's nice. I like it. You know, it's good. Look at this. I love that view there. Like when the camera gets down to the ground and you're looking up at like the sort of tower, the castle. I would just call it a castle in the background. It's only one tower, but we'll call it a castle. And then just like this little fence, not covering the whole thing in, but just around that bit. A little, like a milk churner, butter churner? Churn. I'm just going to call it churn. Yeah, that's huge. I love that item though. Too big. It's way too big. It doesn't fit like you can see, like I was saying before, like when you pull out like regular sized items, it looks ludicrous in this area. I love all those trees as well. But no, oh, there's the star fields, like I was talking about, like those panels. Bales of hay. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I thought I'd just use a large one. It's easier than piling up all the smaller ones. I was like, just get a pile of hay there. That's a really good thing to just fill in the area with. I was like, that'll do nicely. And then just a bunch of flowers as well around the place. And then we just get a few more details here and there. Oh, a few more just scenery items to fill in this little, I guess, a little street, if you will. Some flowers as well, some foliage. Did I add a bench in somewhere? I think I did, yeah. Just a little bench hidden around the corner there, so some people can sort of walk in there and sit down if they want, which I thought was quite handy. And then I think that is pretty much it. Just a couple of those trees. A little ball. I thought those are quite nice, actually. They framed the entrance quite nicely. And I was just looking for any other little item that may or may not work, but I think that's pretty much it. I was like, oh, there's some cool items here, but I don't think a lot of these will really work. Oh yeah, we got a little fence out the front of this one too. I love that fence. I don't know, it's cool. It's really, really nice. Anyway, we're going to jump into it real time now just to go for a tour so you can see it without it being sped up and get a closer look at all of it. So I'm going to hand it over to me in real time to give you a little bit of a tour. And here we are. This is what it looks like in real time. So I'm thinking, I mean, I gotta make some sort of use for this place. I was thinking maybe we could try and get like some stores in here or something. But at the same time, even though that shop's, these are all closed again. I did open these all at one point, but yeah, see, that's the problem. There's not enough people over here. Well, I think what we need to do, we're gonna get a ride right here, and then maybe we have the entrance or exit of the ride through this little place. So instead of just having a regular pathway, maybe we do like a queue going through. So it's just part of that. That's probably the best way to get people to walk through the area, because right now there's literally no reason for anyone to walk there, but it does look pretty sweet. And I think for this little area, like the whole point of it is just to complement that. This is supposed to be this little village here. I think it looks sweet, and especially when we're not fast forwarding through a time lapse, we can actually see it in all its detail and all its glory. I think, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I would like to do maybe a little bit more of it. Just, I don't know, because I think it would be cool if we have this little area there, and then maybe if there's like maybe an area that raises up. I don't know, you know, it's something that we're going to develop over time. I think putting a ride in here would help out a lot to sort of visualizing. That's not how you say it. You know what I mean. Visualizing. Oh, also the back of that's not great, but I think I kind of wanted to leave that those as well, because if we're doing the ride going through there, we'll probably change all of that anyway. And then I think around this side needs probably some sort of rocks or stuff around there, but I think for now it was more about getting this half of it done. So when you look at it from here, it's like, whoa, look at that, beautiful. All right, well, that's going to do it for this part. We'll be back next time, probably getting that ride in, maybe just doing a few more details around this little area too. Okay, keep going inside that building there. But it's really coming along, and people are actually riding this ride as well, which is kind of handy because we spent a lot of time building that, and it looks sweet. But yeah, it's all coming together. Oh yeah, and I don't know if I actually showed this I did actually record doing this pathway, because it was kind of annoying because I had to do two separate pathways and join them between all the pillars, because the pillars didn't stay on the pathway, which I think you can do that, but I think I have to build the track afterwards. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I just did it that way. It seems to work. So that's all connected up through here. But this obviously needs a lot of work, and there's no one walking around this way either, so it's kind of useless. But the mini village is coming along. It's looking sweet. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.